holding you back from touching the sky? What's holding you back? You gotta fly like an eagle and go high. But what's holding you back? Holding you back from touching the sky. Oh, holding you back. You finally gotta reach for the sky. I was born to succeed, not to be a spoken or real. Told myself there's more to this than just waking up when I feel. So I made a commitment to turn my earnings up. Couldn't see myself as an employee that still couldn't. Looked in the mirror, saw a spark in my eye. Knew I had to hustle and stop living a lie. I packed my dreams in a suitcase, took the first train. I'm headed for the horizon when success is no.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of What's Holding You Back. My name is Rob McCray from the Business Building Network, and I am delighted and excited to be with you once again for another Wednesday edition of What's Holding You Back. And we are in store for a very special treat today, as we have a very special guest coming on board with us, and she's going to be sharing some much needed tips and advice on what is needed when we're talking about starting your own business. So yes, that's going to be our subject matter for today. So be sure to have a pen and paper handy. Take down some notes, because this is going to be a wealth of information that I'm sure that you can may become very useful for you. So yes, as you are jumping on board, by all means, leave us a comment. Let us know where you are tuning in from. We would love to acknowledge you and welcome you to the broadcast as we get started for today. And if you missed us from last week we had a very interesting topic in which we talked about and we discussed, should we encourage our children to go to college, or should we encourage them to pursue other options? And yes, that was a very, very interesting topic of discussion with many varying opinions on that subject matter. So if you missed it, please, by all means, go back to our YouTube channel and watch that live broadcast. It was very, very interesting, and I'm sure you would be able to take a lot from it. So yes, as mentioned earlier, as you're jumping on board, please leave us a like, leave us a comment, and let us know where you are tuning in from. So as we get our program started for today, we are going to bring on our special guest, and our special guest is none other than Stephanie Franklin, and she is an educator, an entrepreneur. She is a youth leader and nonprofit founder. One second. Okay. All right. Are you hearing me? Just let me know in the comments if you are able to hear me. I think we have our connection back. Yes. Okay. Good. Good. Thank you so much. So yes, I was just doing the introduction of our special guest for this evening. Once again, she is Stephanie Franklin, an educator out of New Jersey. She is also a New Jersey kindergarten through sixth grade certified teacher. She is a former preschool director. She is a youth pastor and CEO of Unified Instructional Centers, LLC, and founder of UIC Leadership and Empowerment Foundation. So please, family, get your emojis ready, and please help me welcome our very special guest for this evening. She is none other than Stephanie Franklin. Blessings, my sis. How are you this evening?
Well, good evening, Brother Rob. How are you?
I am so well. Yes, good to have you on board with us.
Good to be on board. Thanks for the invite.
Yes, my pleasure, my pleasure. All right, so let me see, since we have a couple of comments coming in, Let me just acknowledge our visitors as they're coming on board. So we have, let's see, the righteous life. Deacon Patrick, bless you, sir. Yes, yes, all the way from Canada. Yes, always good to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, we have my lovely wife, Althea, also joining us this evening. Blessings unto you, and thank you so much for joining. And please, family, as you are jumping on board, please leave us a comment so we can acknowledge you and welcome you to the broadcast with our special guest, Sister Stephanie Franklin. And she is from UIC, the Nonprofit and Leadership and Empowerment Foundation. So, yes, sis, as we get started with our discussion for today, if you will, just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization.
Well, Stephanie Franklin, as Brother Rob said, I've been an NJ certified teacher probably maybe about 15 years. Uh, Actually, funny, I've worked in and out of public schools and private schools.
Hmm.
Um, I tried to comply and apply to be, a regular contracted teacher over the years in different environments, and
Hmm.
nothing ever went through. I really tried, to kind of be this, status quo person, but it never went through. So I launched my own program, and actually, I've enjoyed so much working in private settings because in private settings I'm able to really be myself and really just exude who God made me to be
Amen.
without the limitations of politics.
There you go.
Yes, sir. So, and this, uh, I'm an entrepreneur. My first entrepreneurial venture, I believe, started maybe when I was in college when I was introduced to Mary Kay Cosmetics. The point is this: I'm an entrepreneur, been one for some time, and I truly believe in entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And I encourage many to do the same. I've learned so much along the way. I've gotten a taste of finance through retail banking and insurance and income tax prep. And what I love now is that it's like all that I've done has prepped me for this stage in my life because I have the knowledge to really be able to help myself, but also help others to empower them.
Amen to that. Yes, my sis, so glad to hear. And yes, you said something that is so, so important and that many of us have to go through at some point in times in our lives. And that is dealing with the politics and the judgmental state that we have to go through when working for somebody else. That's why many people venture off and start a business for themselves. And that is why we are having this discussion for today. We want to encourage you to go out and build something for yourself so that you will not become reliant upon working for someone else to
Right.
supplement your income in anything in which you need. So, yes, that was very key and very important in mentioning that fact, Sister Stephanie. All right, so let's get into what we need to know about UIC Leadership and Empowerment Foundation. So, what is that exactly all about?
Well, UIC is the platform and or training ground that God gave me for young people as it pertains to character and leadership and confidence. Um, what I teach the children is that you'll all have a chance to lead one day, but you're here to learn how to be the right kind of leader,
Mhm.
how to be an empathetic leader, how to be a leader that has self discipline, a responsible leader. Um, what we also look to teach the children is how to make a strong, responsible contribution to society. To
Yeah.
not just look for handouts, but you be making your contribution to your environment to make it better.
Okay, awesome. All right, so now I say you mentioned with the youth. So, are there any age restrictions with your leadership and empowerment program?
All right, so I have it in tiers. We have what's called Youth Leadership Labs, which has been active since May. of this year.
Mhm.
My current location for that is in Piscataway, New Jersey. And right now on Friday evenings, I serve children ages 7 to 12 from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay.
They get their free meal, they get pizza or whatever is on the menu for that night, all free. And then we have icebreakers. We have our lesson. We go over our core values. And then children also have a chance to play and just kind of fellowship with each other. But we have core values that the children are taught, and very necessary. Core values like I said, responsibility, self-discipline, empathy, respect. These are core values that we learn growing up. But the children, it's not that, and I have to be clear here, it's not that parents don't care about these things, but and when I think about it, many parents are just overwhelmed with the day to day. They're in survivor mode. So,
Right.
though they want their kids to have these skills and these character traits, they're not always found teaching them intentionally. When they
Mhm.
come to class, they're learning intentionally, and I like to be intentional about what I teach. Um, and I'm just blessed to be able to teach it.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So also now, in talking about your program, so is this a nonprofit organization?
Yes, USC, yes, is a nonprofit. It runs alongside of my for-profit. Um, it's very necessary, and I'll explain a little bit, just teeny bit. God
Hmm.
really gave me this vision and this strategy. When I started Unified Instructional Centers, which is my for-profit, what it is it's educational services and or enrichment programs. So
Okay.
what I learned with it, this program was actually with it at first, but God gave me the vision to pull it out and to make it separate and to make it free because
Okay.
it was valued at a nominal fee. It was valued at, but He showed me to make it free, separate it, and build on it, and that's what I've been doing. Yes.
Hmm.
The next phase of UIC Leadership and Empowerment Foundation will be teenagers ages 13 to 17. And
Wow.
what I plan to go through with them is to launch what's called Saturday Leadership Academy.
Mm.
Um, there, I want to teach them skills, life skills, teach them also, point them in a direction also of how to learn technology, other skills. I'm a college graduate who has have like a bachelor's and then some a little bit more almost towards a master's. I, even as a college graduate, I don't really advocate college for everyone. I know that you were talking about that last week. Everyone does not have to go to college. If you're going to be a mechanic, you have to go to college, and you can make good money with no debt. You know what I
Sure.
mean? So, as a college graduate, I don't necessarily believe everyone needs to go. I think everyone just needs to know what they're going to do with their life, so they know what it requires. If that makes sense. But I digress. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, yes, that makes perfect sense. So yes, like you mentioned, that was a part of our discussion for last week. Do we need to encourage our children to go to college and further their education, or seek alternative means in doing so? And yes, those were some very interesting points that a lot of our guests brought up about the amount of money and finances and so much debt that
Yep.
was accumulated when going to college. They, a lot of them were saying that they kind of regret that decision now looking back at it. So
Wow.
yes, it's something that we really need to look at and really have some alternative measures in place to continue to further educate ourselves, because the education process, it never stops. It doesn't necessarily
Right.
have to be a formal education, but we
Right.
always have to be continuing the learning process and improving ourselves in our self development. So yes, we love that.
Absolutely.
All right, so tell us now, you mentioned that you have a for-profit and a nonprofit. So can you explain the difference in the two?
Absolutely. First, let me let you all know that I never thought I'd ever have a nonprofit because I'm a for-profit person. I like to be.
Absolutely.
So let's just be clear there.
Yes.
If not inspired by God Himself, I would not have done it. But
Hmm.
with a nonprofit, you're still, as the founder and or executive director, you're still able to make money. It is the organization that doesn't make money per se.
Okay.
So like I say, it doesn't make money, but it's not designed. It's not for that. It's for a
Gotcha.
service to your community.
Hmm.
But anyone that you have on your board, not certain people on your board, I should say, which is decided by the board, could receive a salary. So it's not that the people that are affiliated, that are in the leadership, cannot collect any financial gain. It's just regulated, and it's not for making you rich. It's not for making an organization rich. It exists to serve your community. What I tell my followers on my TikTok channel, I tell them all the time. I tell them your nonprofit is your give back. It's how you will give back to society, how you'll give back to your environment, how you'll give back to other people. So it's not your take, it's your give. And that's why I think you should run alongside of your for-profit.
Okay, okay. Yes, that makes perfect sense, and so glad that you explained that to us. All right, all right. So now, in speaking about a nonprofit organization, so do you have any connections to grant writers?
I do. I do.
Mm.
Yes, I do. I have a friend that actually taught me about grant writing or writing proposals, and
Okay.
he helped me and put me in a direction. Even he was the one that actually even gave me instruction on how to do my paperwork for my nonprofit. Yes, yes,
Wow.
and there's money out there. There's more money out there, in my opinion, for your nonprofit than for your for-profit.
Of course.
Because who's just going to keep giving you money so you can make money? But if you have something that you're offering that's going to benefit the community, there are
Hmm.
definitely monies available for that. You know,
Okay.
yes, yeah. When I coach people, when I speak to them, I encourage them. I tell them about the difference between a vision and a mission.
Hmm.
Which your vision is your what and your mission is your how.
Hmm.
And then also, walk them through, what problem they want to correct in society. Some people didn't start out thinking about a nonprofit, not until something happened in their life or the life of someone close to them that touched their life, so that now they wanted to make a contribution to society to help with that.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. So right here on your screen, this is a link to her website, UIC Leadership and Empowerment Foundation, and the website is uiclead.org. So if you want to get in contact with Sister Stephanie Franklin, please visit her website, fill out the contact form, and request more information about her organizations. If you're looking for assistance with grant writing, you can reach out to her for that, and she will be more than happy to share more information with you. Because, as she said, there is a lot of money out there, but many of us are not aware of it. And when we want to start a business, there are grants available for you to go out and start a business for yourself. So, not everything has to be an out of pocket expense. So, very important information that you need to gather when you're thinking about starting a business for yourself. All right, so Stephanie, you've worked in education, finance, insurance, ministry, and in business. So, how have these different experiences shaped your approach to leadership and in business?
Wow, it's a good question. I would say majorly first as a leader myself, it's really caused me to push and have courage and to
Mhm.
be bold. When when we're talking about leading, you're talking about making a decision against all odds.
Yes.
So you can't decide to go with the stream of traffic. You got to be willing to go in a different direction. You have to have the courage. The entrepreneurship, as a matter of fact, it has to do with the level of risk you're willing to take.
Hmm.
If you grew up in an environment like the environment I grew up, my parents, they were successful. They worked for companies. My dad worked 35 plus years in pharmaceutical sales. My mom retired from a career working for the prosecutor's office. And so they were. My dad did have some entrepreneurial ventures that he did pursue, and he was successful in those too. But my point is, it took courage finally I tried my best to sit in the box. I tried. I tried. I tried. But my dad, after a while, even he came to conclude, he's like, Steph is just not, that's not going to be Steph. She's just not built like that. And it's true, but he's always encouraged me to be the head of whatever I do.
Of
So
course.
he's never discouraged me. He's always encouraged me, even when I worked for banks. He was like, well, when you want to be the branch manager? He always encouraged me to be the head. And that's who God made me to be, the head, a leader. That's
Wow.
one. Two, working in finances, and look, everything down to income taxes, which to this day I'm so glad for, because now I have the background of income tax, and even how tax laws are designed. So as a business owner, and even as a nonprofit leader, oh man, God is so good, because He really did all these things. Kind of like you would think, like, what are these random things you've done over the years? They've all come together to make a spear with a perfect point, that shoots me right in the direction of destiny. I'm just so thankful. I'm just so thankful. But down to income tax laws, some people are crying because, I got to pay so many taxes, and I get a business. Start a business. You get some write-offs. You, at the very least, be able to balance out all that tax liability. I have friends that still insist that I do their taxes, and I'm like, start a business, start an enterprise. Start something where you have the benefits of tax law on your side.
That's right.
When you're an entrepreneur, there's so much you can write off, so much you can do. And I don't mean illegally, towing the line, but there's some things that fall within the category, and you don't have to worry about an audit.
Yeah.
But if you don't read, you don't know.
That's right.
I'm big on empowerment, because I don't like to give people stuff for free. I don't, because people lean on you when you just keep giving them things.
That's
But it's like, no, you get out here and open up a book.
Yep.
Stop playing. Like, open up a book, do some reading, do some research. We have Professor Google. We should all have our own virtual assistant chat, or Gemini. There's just too much information available. There are no more excuses.
I'm
If
telling
you
you.
don't have it, it's because you don't want it. You don't want to work for it.
That's
And
right.
no one can do that for you. No one can do the work for you. Put the work in. No one can do it for you. So I'm about empowerment. Like, when I'm teaching these young adults, when we get to that space, I'm teaching them not. I'm not just giving away fishes. I'm gonna show you how to fish for yourself. Hey, let's learn about finance. Let's learn about this. Let's learn about that. It's very important to me. Very. And look, my dad was successful. My father grew up in the projects of Hoboken. People don't even know projects are still there on the edge. They were about to take down the rest of them. So this man came from the projects, and he became very successful. And went to college. Everything, single mom, everything that we said, I can't do it, because he did it, and he put that same confidence and drive in me. And so I don't play. I don't play. I don't play.
So where do you think those leadership qualities came from?
I think that some people are leadership personality. Some people have leadership personalities, so
Mm-hmm.
they're just kind of naturally like that. But then some people can be taught. They can be taught. They may not be. They might hold all of the characteristics in their personality, like
Yes.
maybe myself, but they can be taught.
Sure.
When they have their chance to lead. Because some people are leaders and will always lead, and some will have a moment to lead. And
Mm-hmm.
so the people that are won't always lead, but will have that moment, they can be taught how to lead. And that's what I teach the children in the program: how to
Wow.
lead, the kind of leader to be. Yes,
Wow.
absolutely.
Love it. All right. So, what problems are you trying to solve through your leadership labs?
All right. So, and then again, in leadership labs, we address a character in leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us see leaders, and we know. I'm talking about adults. We see things, and we know this is like a mess, and we're so used to seeing poor character in leadership that we think it's just how the world is. But my problem I'm solving here is teaching these young people how to do it right,
Mm-hmm.
how to be integral leaders, how to be kind to their neighbor, how to pick up trash on the ground. No, you're not throwing that on the ground. Get up. How to do public speaking. An important part of our session as well. I have a volunteer. She's a high school, supposed to be a high school senior, and she's
Mm-hmm.
in speech and debate, and she's going to be working with them on public speaking as well. You are a voice in this world,
Yes.
and you deserve to be heard. You
Hmm.
don't have to curse and use bad language. You use your words. Use the vowels, the nouns, use the words that we learn
Come on.
to express
Yes.
yourself.
Yes.
You can defend your ideas without being offended.
Mm.
These are other items that they'll be learning, and I'm just so excited. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. I'm
Wow.
looking for volunteers as well. And as a nonprofit, if someone needs volunteer hours, they certainly can reach out to me. And if they want to volunteer, I'll certainly, we sign off on volunteer sheets as well because, for example, she's a high school senior and she needed that. She needed a form filled out. So if someone wants to volunteer, if you have some ideas, please reach out. Um, I'm absolutely open and I'm absolutely excited. Absolutely excited.
Love that, sis. Really, really, really love that. Yes, that is so, so inspiring. And I love that you're taking on the students as they're going through high school and elementary school and asking them to challenge themselves to recognize and hear their voice and let it be heard on a public stage and building up that confidence as they're going through the process. That is so,
Absolutely.
so important and
Absolutely.
good to hear. So yes, that's wow, that is very, very inspiring.
As we grow, God willing, and funding from our
Mhm.
funding sources, I want to also do this. I want to do what they. I know they some places still do it, but I want to do some college tours for the ones that do have the purpose. Because if your purpose involves, if you're gonna be a doctor, your purpose definitely involves college. And so the point is, I want to get some of that stuff going too. I want to vocational. I want to encourage to get kids into VOTEC high schools. I
Mhm.
want to encourage from there to see about college tours for those who never been to a college campus. Do the old fashioned stuff that we did in school. I'm not that old. I'll be 49 in November, but I remember, high school was for me was from 93 to 96, and
Mhm.
I remember the different programs that were available to prep you for college. So for those who are going to go to college, let's go to some college tours. Let's go take a look. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out. Check
Right.
it out. Check it out. Check it out. I'll even say this much.
Mhm.
Some that go to vocational schools, that graduate with their trades, if they still go to college, they can still go to college. They can work their way through school with
That's
your
right.
trade.
Yeah.
What?
Mhm.
If anything is possible, debt free or low debt, look, I believe in it, sir. I believe in it. I believe in it.
I believe.
Yes,
Yes, indeed.
yes.
All right. So you often talk about character, confidence, and many of the challenges that we go throughout our communities. So why do you believe that these three values are essential for our success today?
Why? Point blank, because look around us. Look
Hmm.
at politics. Look at our government. Um, we have to make a difference. We have to raise a generation that makes a difference.
Yeah.
We have to raise a generation. They're not going to do it if they're not taught. And
Hmm.
so this is all about teaching them the right way so that everywhere they go. There's a scripture that says in Psalms 127 that, your children are like an arrow in the hand and a quiver of a mighty man. So
Hmm.
as the children are being taught, they're being taught the proper way. And as they're sent out in different directions, they're making a difference in whatever environment they go to. And I have faith that what we're teaching them, they will take with them, and wherever they go, whether they go to the west, wherever they go, to the west coast, east coast, D.C., wherever they go, when they go out of the country, that deposit is going with them, and it's making an impact on wherever they land.
Amen. Amen. All right. So now we started off. We're talking about starting a business. So many people have dreams and desires of starting a business for themselves, but they never take action in doing so. So, how does your leadership training impact those decisions?
They learn also about entrepreneurship.
Hmm.
My leadership training also involves entrepreneurship, and it addresses confidence. So between confidence and the knowledge, no one can make a choice to do something they've never been taught about.
Right.
So on learning about entrepreneurship also opens up the door of growth and their minds extending their minds to more than just what they see around them.
Mm-hmm.
And everything they see around them is not bad. I need to be very clear. Everything they see around them is not bad because mom works at the office. She's a receptionist at the doctor's office. Praise God, she's a receptionist at the doctor's office. That's good. You know, work, honest work is honest work and is work. And kids, it doesn't matter. This is good. If the money came from working as a doctor or it came from working as a mechanic, it's still money, and the kids got something to eat. So I don't knock that. But I'm
That's right.
introducing them, and I'm introducing them to the other ways, which are entrepreneurship as well, which requires leadership and it requires courage and it requires discipline. Discipline. When you work for yourself, you need discipline. And I
You
also
have.
believe when you work for other people, I
Mm-hmm.
believe that entrepreneurs should start out working for other people at least because they gain work ethic. They should gain work ethic working for other people. They
Right.
understand the dynamics. But if you never have to get to work by a certain time, or you're gonna get written up. Everyone knows that feels like I gotta be on time. I'm gonna get written up. All that makes if you yield to it, it makes you better able to manage your own business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So we've all experienced some type of challenges, whether that be in our personal life or our business life throughout our years and throughout our journey. So, what has kept you motivated, and what are some of the lessons and that you have learned during these times and seasons?
What's kept me motivated is hope. I've been through so much. What's kept me motivated is hope and the dream of one day being able. Well, back then it was being able to be my own boss. Back then I was being able to be my own boss. And now what motivates me is the hope that the impartation that I'm making other people, children, adults too, they'll take that deposit, and again they'll launch out somewhere else, and I will have done my work in impacting society.
Wow, awesome. So, where do you see UIC Leadership and Empowerment Foundation and also your unified instructional centers in the next 5 years? Where do you see that growing and blossoming to?
Wow. Well, starting with the for-profit unified instructional centers, I see that the vision for that is to have buildings that are designed for learning. They're not for extracurricular and or enrichment learning. So like literally classrooms, just classrooms with different courses that go on, and everything from you ready everything from vegan cooking classes to karate, to droning. So it's all enrichment. Fine arts. We had a great fine arts program when we launched 2 months ago. It's great, and we're getting ready to continue it. Fine arts, sketch lab, canvas art. This is what I see. I see a building, multiple classrooms. I see the sign on top, Unified Instructional Centers, and it becoming a name that people know is synonymous with enrichment learning. People going, oh, I'm going over to UIC to take this class. I'm looking forward to it. I became I became a pescatarian last year, and so like I would love to take some courses learning how to make more interesting meals without meat. Like I eat fish, I eat vegetables, but I don't eat fish or pork or beef or you know. But so my point is offering enrichment courses just like that. Like, oh, I'm going for my classes now. Oh, I just picked up this next cycle is about that. Ooh, because I'm a lifetime learner. It's got that kind of brain. So like I'm hoping that other people will eventually feel people will come in contact with us and they'll get excited, as well. As far as UIC and Leadership and Empowerment Foundation, believe it or not, one of my ultimate goals is that to be involved in housing projects,
Okay.
providing housing and learning resources for empowerment.
Mhm.
Um, Young people, possibly even in their families, that have a chance to move in for a period to learn finance, to learn a trade, to really get in position to be able to have more. and to be taught all that's necessary. Again, teaching them to fish so they can go out and fish for themselves.
There it is. There it is right there. So yes, sis, I've been seeing you on social media, especially Facebook and TikTok. I'm gonna share your Facebook link here on the screen. Yes, so you can connect with Sister Stephanie here on Facebook and also on TikTok. What's your TikTok handle?
Launch with Steph.
Launch with Steph,
Yes.
and that's STEPH.
Yes. I've
Okay.
been on there preaching, but Brother Rob, I've been out here preaching,
I
preaching.
see it.
Tell you something, sir. I've been out here preaching. I feel like a prophet, like lead, like almost like I get frustrated when people don't hear me. I know that there's so much more for people if they would, if they would like get unstuck. I've been feeling like I'm so serious, like Lord, like I feel like I'm preaching and nobody hears me. I know what
I
I'm
hear.
saying, God. I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying.
Keep the messages coming. It's very powerful, very inspirational, and you're putting out a very positive message that the people need to hear. And then once they hear it enough times, it's going to start to reside within them, and then they're going to start to take action. So please, by all means, do not feel as if your voice is not being heard. It is definitely being heard. So keep on putting that information out there, and people will take on the necessary steps to find their place in what they're looking for out of life. So I just want to encourage you and keep doing that.
Thank you.
And in saying that, I want to say that, what do you think about offering some type of online courses if you're not already doing so?
Well, actually, that's the next phase as well. I had some clients, especially for unified instructional centers. They were asking, so we had writing courses, we
Hmm.
had a few different courses, and some people were like, "Wow, are you going to be doing this online?" And so I'm believing that I have the right connections with me now that I can do that. Like they can subscribe online and be able to take those courses online.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. And then I think your business will really, really start to take off from there. Because the thing is, when you have a course that they can take online and they
Hmm.
can go at their own pace and not so much be on a set schedule in
Yes.
which they have to be in the class.
Hmm.
It makes it a lot more convenient for others, and there'll
Okay.
be a lot more people willing to join and be a part of your different programs and services that you have to offer. So
Awesome.
that is truly amazing.
Awesome. I'll definitely keep that in mind. And now I have the tools I need. I have the backing
Hmm.
now and the relationships that can certainly help me facilitate that.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, sis. So, last question as we are about to close out this session for today. Thank you so much for joining us. But if you can leave our audience with one message that they would remember for the rest of their lives, what would that be?
Stop procrastinating. Stop procrastinating
Yes.
because this is why. This is what we do. We say, oh, I'm not going back to school now because it's going to take 5 years to get that degree. But you know what? That 5 years is still going to pass.
Yep.
And then if you don't do anything 5 years later, you still 5 years behind.
Woo.
I would say don't procrastinate. Stop overthinking everything. It's
Mhm.
good to think, but sometimes you'll think yourself out your blessing.
That's right.
And then if you don't start walking, then God can bless you with a
Mhm.
wind to push you faster.
Come on now.
Faith without works is dead. So you say you have faith, but now like James is my favorite in the Bible. If you say you have faith, then let's see your works. If you saying that you believe for that thing, then what you doing with your hands to help bring that about? Some things require favor. You can't give yourself favor, but you
Mhm.
certainly can get in position like you believe in, like you really have faith. Let me see your works that say you that back up that faith.
That's right. All right. There it is. That is your word. Stop procrastinating. Just take action.
That's it.
Let the Lord see you through. Yes,
Yes,
love it,
sir.
my sis. Love it, my sis. So yes, on the bottom of the screen, once again, that is the web address, the URL to her website, which is uiclead.org. Please visit her website, fill out the contact form, reach out to Sister Stephanie Franklin to receive more information about her programs. So, sis, any words you want to share before we close out for today?
Launch, 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 launch. Just
Mm,
launch, just do it. And this part, I was talking to a good friend of mine
mhm,
today. We both met right here. Launch out into the deep.
mm,
Some of us have tried, and some of us have, weren't successful when we first tried, so we gave up. But
yes.
as Jesus told the disciples, they said, "Look, we were out all night. We sat all, we get nothing." Jesus said, "Go back out there, launch into the deep, but do it again. Try the other side of the boat." And when they did, they pulled up so many fish that the nets broke.
That's right.
Don't let the last failure stop you from that moment of your success.
Mm,
Try it.
powerful, 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 powerful. Yes, family. So there you have it from our very own sister, Stephanie Franklin from UIC. What's the name of it again, sis?
UIC Leadership and Empowerment Foundation.
Yes, absolutely. So, once again, thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast for this evening. Please
Okay.
visit her website, support the vision and all of the wonderful things in which she is doing for our communities, for our people, for our youth and adults as well. Yes, it is a very noble cause and great works in which she is doing. So please support our sister in everything in which she is doing. So, on behalf of our program for this evening, we're going to be closing things out. Once again, my name is Rob McCray from the Business Building Network. And if you have not already done so, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is What's Holding You Back Now. And this is also simulcasting on my personal YouTube channel and also on my Facebook page. So thank you all for watching. And we look forward to seeing you next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of What's Holding You Back. Have a good night, everybody.
Touching the sky, oh, holding you back. You finally gotta reach for the sky. I was born to succeed, not to be a spoken the real. Told myself there's more to this than just waking up when I feel. So I made a commitment to turn my earnings up. Couldn't see myself as an employee that still couldn't. Looked in the mirror, saw a spark in my eye. Knew I had to hustle and stop living a lie. I packed my dreams in a suitcase, took the first train out, headed for the horizon with success is no doubt. What's holding you back? Holding you